The sons of legends, will they surpass their famous fathers? From the moment they're born, these kids carry a burden most of us can't imagine. Their fathers conquered football, they lifted trophies, scored impossible goals, and became household names across the planet. Now, their sons are stepping onto the same pitches, wearing famous last names on their backs, and the world is watching to see if greatness runs in the blood. Some are already making believers look foolish. Others, well, let's just say they found different paths. This is the story of 10 footballing sons, from Ronaldo's prodigy to Beckham's fashionista, from Messi's heir apparent to the kid who might actually outshine his imprisoned father. Will the pressure crush them, or will lightning strike the same family twice? Thiago Messi, the impossible standard. When your dad is Lionel Messi, 8 Ballon d'Ors, 4 Champions Leagues, a World Cup, what do people expect from you? Perfection from the womb? Thiago Messi knows this pressure better than anyone on earth. How many players have been hyped as the next Messi only to completely collapse under those insane expectations? Dozens, hundreds maybe. But what happens when you're literally the next Messi? When the greatest player who ever lived is teaching you to dribble in your backyard? Now 12 years old, Thiago has followed his father's career like a shadow. La Masia at Barcelona, PSG's academy, now Inter Miami's youth setup. Everywhere Leo goes, Thiago follows, wearing that iconic number 10 and displaying a low center of gravity that makes defenders look silly. The kid's recent goal at the 2025 MC football tournament went absolutely viral. He broke behind the defense and finished with an outrageous outside of the boot strike that made everyone watching think of prime Leo at Camp Nou. The technique was eerily similar, the composure, pure Messi. But here's the brutal truth. If Thiago really wants to make it like his father did, he'll need to leave Miami eventually and test himself in Europe's elite academies. The question isn't whether he has talent, he clearly does. The question is whether he can handle the astronomical expectations that come with that last name. Kai Rooney, the Bulldogs' heir. Wayne. Rooney was raw, fierce, a kid from the Merseyside streets who exploded onto the scene with that wonder goal against Arsenal at 16. He was angry energy wrapped in football boots, eventually becoming Manchester United's all-time leading scorer with 253 goals. His son Kai, he's got that same fire, but with advantages Wayne never had. While Wayne dealt with street fights, early drinking problems, and fame he wasn't ready for, Kai has grown up with stability, protection, a father who understands exactly what he's going through because he lived it himself. Kai first joined United's academy in 2016, left for DC United when Wayne played in America, then returned to Manchester in 2020 at age 11. He's been absolutely tearing it up ever since. In 2025, he scored a stunning solo goal for United's U17s against Real Sociedad, controlling a long ball perfectly, shrugging off a defender and slotting it home with his left foot. Just weeks later, he netted the winner in extra time to secure the U15 Premier League Floodlit Cup North Final in a dramatic 7-goal thriller against Manchester City. The kid scores in derbies against City, just like his dad used to. Now playing for United's U18s despite being only 15, Kai possesses his father's powerful build, excellent technique, and refreshingly humble personality. He follows the first team everywhere, plays above his age group, and is absolutely on track to become a professional player. With Wayne's guidance and experience, this kid has a real shot at giving the Rooney legacy a proper run for its money. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this breakdown of football's next generation, smash that like button and subscribe. These stories get even wilder, trust me. Cristiano Ronaldo Jr., the chosen one's shadow. Cristiano Ronaldo, 5 Ballon d'Ors, 4 Champions Leagues, 7 domestic titles, over 900 career goals, one of the 2 greatest players to ever touch a football. His son, he's got the genes, the training, the name, but does he have the obsession? See, CR7 didn't just rely on talent. That teenage show pony at Manchester United transformed himself through absolutely relentless work ethic and monk-like discipline. Even Gary Neville was stunned by his ultra-clean diet and preparation rituals. And that's exactly what worries Cristiano about his 14-year-old son. According to Ronaldo himself, CR7 Jr. sometimes eats junk food. He avoids ice baths. He seems unfocused in the days before matches. For a father who built an empire on discipline, these are red flags. But the talent, it's undeniable. The teenager has already represented Juventus, Manchester United, and Al Nassr academies. In May 2025, he received a call-up for Portugal's U15 national team, where he scored twice wearing the iconic number 7 jersey as Portugal defeated Croatia 3-2. Scouts from Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, Inter Milan, and obviously Manchester United are all watching closely. Standing at 185 centimeters already, he looks physically imposing on the pitch. His father admits the kid has serious potential. He's fast, he can beat players, but emphasizes that hard work and dedication are non-negotiable. Here's the fascinating part. Cristiano Jr has arguably the greatest athlete in football history as his personal mentor and role model. If the lessons finally click, if the work ethic matches the genetics, the world might have to brace itself for another unstoppable Ronaldo. And honestly, we wouldn't complain. Robinho Jr, the phoenix from prison. This story is absolutely wild. When Robinho was at his peak, dazzling for Real Madrid, Manchester City, and AC Milan with his samba skills, he became a mentor to an 18-year-old Santos kid named Neymar. Fast forward to 2025 and Robinho is serving a 9-year prison sentence for sexual assault. His son, he's now being mentored by that same Neymar who returned to Santos specifically to help guide him. It's a circle that's both beautiful and heartbreaking. Robinho Jr joined Santos as a 14-year-old in 2022 and immediately showed his father's trademark trickery, confidence, and dominance. With Nike Mercurials on his feet, socks pulled high, and that skinny build, he looks like a teenage version of either Robinho or Neymar from 2010. If you weren't paying attention, you'd be forgiven for thinking it was actually 2010 Neymar as he nutmegs defenders and showboats on the ball. The resemblance is uncanny. In July 2025, Robinho Jr made his Santos first team debut in a 2-1 victory over Flamengo, playing alongside Neymar himself. The 17-year-old came on in the second half and immediately showed his quality, nearly extending the lead with his dangerous runs down the right flank. Neymar has been incredibly supportive, saying the similarities with Robinho are remarkable regardless of the challenges his father faces. The boy has a strong mentality, Neymar explained. Debuting under such pressure is no easy feat. I've watched him grow and now he plays alongside me. Despite his father's absence due to incarceration, Robinho Jr is forging his own path. He wears the number 7 jersey at Santos, his father's iconic number. He's contracted until 2027 with a release clause reportedly worth millions. European scouts are already circling. If any son of a footballing legend looks capable of one day winning a Ballon d'Or, it might just be Robinho Jr. The talent is absolutely there. So is the support system, with Neymar acting as the father figure Robinho cannot be. Romeo Beckham, the runway over the pitch. Romeo Beckham was born into celebrity royalty. David Beckham, one of football's most iconic figures. Victoria Beckham, Spice Girl turned fashion mogul. From day one, Romeo lived in the spotlight, dodging paparazzi while enjoying every luxury imaginable. His father's relentless work ethic at Manchester United, Real Madrid, LA Galaxy, and PSG made him a global superstar. But Romeo, he approached football differently, more casually, like someone who had options. At 12, his father's fame helped him join Arsenal's academy in 2014. A year later, Arsenal released him. The talent just wasn't clear enough. After 6 years away, during which he tried tennis, Romeo said he wanted to return to football. David reportedly replaced the tennis courts at home with a full-size football pitch. Romeo joined Inter Miami's reserve team, playing 26 games in the US third tier before moving back to London for Brentford's B team. He played a few matches, helped win the 2022-23 Premier League Youth Cup, but still lacked the hunger David possessed. In 2024, at just 22 years old, Romeo quit football entirely. Brentford offered him a new contract. He declined. Instead, he signed with Paris Safe Management, a top fashion agency, and decided to pursue modeling full-time. While David's passing range made PSG supporters gasp, Romeo will be looking to turn heads on runways instead. The kid already had modeling experience, starring in a Burberry campaign at age 10, landing a £1.2 million Puma deal, modeling for Yves Saint Laurent and Vogue. Fashion was always his true passion. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. Not everyone wants to follow their father's exact footsteps. Romeo chose the path that excited him, not the one everyone expected. That takes courage too. Joao Mendes, Europe, said, "Thanks but no thanks." Ronaldinho, one of the game's most beloved players ever. His infectious smile, embodiment of Joga Bonita flair, and laid-back personality made him almost impossible not to love. That solo goal at the Bernabeu made even Real Madrid fans applaud him. His son Joao Mendes was supposed to inherit that magical touch with the ball. Born with football royalty in his DNA, many assumed greatness was automatic. But Ronaldinho's party lifestyle and short relationship with Joao's mother meant he wasn't always present during his son's crucial early years. Eventually, Ronaldinho returned to Brazil, and that's when Joao began taking football seriously. He earned a move to Flamengo, a club his father represented, and many at the Brazilian academy genuinely believed Joao had the talent to surpass his father's career. He eventually joined Cruzeiro, signing a 6-year professional contract. Then Europe came calling. At 18, he signed for Barcelona. He played at La Masia as a left-back but couldn't shake showing flair, pulling off ball rolls from his own box, oozing confidence. But despite the talent, he failed to impress strongly enough. Barcelona deemed him surplus to requirements. He was sent to Burnley in 2024, made several appearances for their U21 team, then got released at the end of the 2024 to 2025 season. Europe doesn't seem as excited about Joao as they were for his legendary father. Maybe he can still carve out a career at a lower level of the game, but replicating Ronaldinho's greatness, that dream seems to have faded. Marcus Thuram, chasing dad's World Cup glory. Lilian Thuram was a world-class centre-back for Juventus, Barcelona and France. World Cup winner in 1998, European Championship winner in 2000, listed by Pelé as one of the 100 greatest players ever. His son Marcus watched all of this growing up, even receiving Lionel Messi's boots as a gift from his father's Barcelona teammates. That's the kind of environment he grew up in. Marcus signed for French side Sochaux in 2012 before joining Guingamp as a 20-year-old striker in 2017. He scored 12 goals, which earned a move to Borussia Mönchengladbach. The towering 6'4" striker notched 34 goals in 111 appearances, attracting interest from France's national team and earning a 2023 move to Italian giants Inter Milan. But here's where family tension entered the picture. Inter's rivalry with his father's former club, Juventus. Marcus was filmed celebrating and jumping around to anti-Juventus songs when Lilian appeared from nowhere to slap his son and remind him of the family's roots. Classic dad move. Marcus's time at Inter has been a success. 27 goals in 67 appearances and a spot in the 2025 Champions League final. At 27 years old and a regular France international, he still has time to replicate his father's legendary international triumphs. But with just one Serie A title and a Supercoppa to his name, he won't be putting his medals on the family table just yet. Dad's trophy cabinet is still way more impressive. Justin Kluivert, living in the shadow. Patrick Kluivert won La Liga, won the Champions League, scored over 200 career goals, one of the greatest Dutch players ever. His tactical genius even earned him the Dutch assistant manager job. When the world discovered Patrick's son Justin was shining in Ajax's youth teams, expectations went through the roof. A physical, technical, tactical genius had produced a son showing the same qualities. Justin's breakthrough at Ajax was promising. 12 goals in the Eredivisie earned an €18.75 million move to Roma in 2018. At the time, the Dutch teenager was among the most exciting prospects in world football. Many believed he could enjoy a career as great as his father's. Didn't happen. Justin has had a solid career representing Roma, RB Leipzig, Nice, Valencia, and Bournemouth. He's represented the Netherlands 7 times, but he never developed into the international sensation everyone hoped for. Now 26, he's an impressive mid-table Premier League winger. That's nothing to be ashamed of. But rivaling his father's career? That ship has sailed. Sometimes good just isn't enough when great is the family standard. Daniel Maldini, 3 generations deep. Imagine having to live up to both your father and your grandfather. That's Daniel Maldini's life. His grandfather Cesare was a legendary Italian centre-back who won 4 Serie A titles and a European Cup. But somehow, his son Paolo eclipsed even that legacy, winning 7 Serie A titles and 5 Champions Leagues, becoming one of the greatest defenders in football history. Daniel joined AC Milan's youth system in 2010, rose through the ranks for 14 years, and eventually broke into the first team in 2020, making 14 appearances. Unlike his father and grandfather, Daniel plays as an attacking midfielder. The San Siro crowd hoped the latest Maldini could become a mainstay and one day captain Milan to glory. But things didn't go as smoothly as they did for his ancestors. Milan isn't the powerhouse it once was. Daniel doesn't seem to be the titan his father was either. After a few years in the first team, Milan shipped him to Monza in 2024, but Daniel refused to give up. After a great season with the City side, he earned a €13 million move to Atalanta. Since joining Atalanta, he's featured for Italy's national team 5 times and looks talented enough to secure a starting spot over the next decade. Still only 20, he has time and potential to become one of the most established attacking midfielders of his generation. But matching his grandfather's trophy haul, let alone Paolo's, that seems nearly impossible. Sometimes history sets standards no one can reach. Davi Lucca, Neymar's son, chose hoops. Neymar was one of the finest players of his generation, perhaps the most skillful player of all time. He shocked the world with his dancing feet during his peak at Santos, Barcelona, and Paris Saint-Germain. Champions League winner, most expensive player ever at one point. But like Ronaldinho, Neymar consistently made headlines for lavish partying and spent most of his career living on the opposite side of the planet from his son. Despite the distance, they maintained a great relationship. Davi regularly traveled to Europe to spend time with Neymar and has been spotted delivering water bottles during halftime intervals. But make sure Davi doesn't sneak onto the pitch, because since Neymar returned to Santos, he's invited his son to mess around at training on a few occasions. And let's just say the videos are rough. Footage shows Neymar displaying the trickery that made him iconic, while Davi tumbles over and gets nutmegged trying to tackle his legendary father. Other clips show the boy attempting to curl the ball into the net from a corner kick, only to see his efforts sadly trickle into the side netting. With his father preferring to enjoy his company in other ways, Davi isn't actively pursuing a career in football. He's chosen basketball instead at Vidi, and honestly, that might just be for the best. Not every son inherits their father's gifts, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with finding your own path. The verdict: can they match their fathers? So here's the reality check. Most of these kids won't surpass their legendary fathers. The standards are just too absurd. Messi, Ronaldo, Beckham, Neymar, Rooney, these are once-in-a-generation talents. Lightning rarely strikes the same family twice, but that doesn't mean failure. Rooney and Cristiano Jr are genuinely on track to become professional players. Marcus Thuram already plays for Inter Milan and France. Daniel Maldini is establishing himself in Serie A. Even Robinho Jr, despite his father's imprisonment, has Neymar himself as a mentor and genuine Ballon d'Or potential. The pressure on these kids is unimaginable. Every touch is analyzed, every mistake magnified, every success questioned. Was it talent or nepotism? Yet they keep showing up, keep training, keep trying to forge their own identities while carrying famous last names. And honestly, that might be the greatest achievement of all, not matching their father's trophy cabinets, but having the courage to step onto the same stage where their fathers became gods and saying, "I'll try anyway." That's the real story here. Not whether they'll win 8 Ballon d'Ors or break goal-scoring records, but whether they can find their own version of greatness while the world constantly compares them to legends. Some will make it, some already have. Others will find different paths, like Romeo on the runway or Davi on the basketball court. And that's perfectly okay, because at the end of the day, these kids didn't choose their fathers. They just got dealt the hardest hand in football, living up to perfection. And every time they lace up their boots despite that pressure, they're already winners. If you want to see the actual legends who won the Ballon d'Or and how good they really were, click the video on screen now and don't forget to subscribe.